again. This is Jonathan Small, hosting and producer of Face to Face. And Face to Face is a show that I basically revamped from the 2010s towards 2023, just a few weeks ago, or last week to be honest. And it's a hard-hitting type of show where I ask the guests the hard questions and give you, the viewers, the answers and information that you deserve to know. This morning on Face to Face, I have I guess, an instrumental figure in the entertainment industry, and she has many different roles, and she has a pretty much impressive background to go along with her positions in the entertainment industry. The guest this morning on Face to Face is basically a royal ambassador at large, Her Excellency Shanta Lana Hereford. Good morning, Shanta. How are you doing?
Grand Rising. Thanks so much, Jonathan, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, it's
I'm
up.
doing well.
Exactly. Shanta Lana Hereford, could you kind of let people know a little bit about yourself briefly before we get into our discussions?
Sure. Well, I like to consider myself a visionary. I am a business development consultant. Also, as you mentioned, I'm the Royal Ambassador at Large, one of them at least, for the Attica Kingdom Alliance, which consists of over 750 African kingdoms stretched across Africa. And I'm also the COO of the Hype magazine, which is the number one urban culture magazine in the world, as well as I wear a number of other hats as a nonprofit director and president of the East Memorial Drive Revitalization Foundation and also the Center for Truth and Healing. So most of the roles that I am involved in serve the community at a capacity of education, empowerment, and those sorts of initiatives.
Your Excellency Shanta Lana Hereford, would you say you're directly involved in the music, film, television, digital media industry? Could you kind of explain to people exactly what is your day-to-day duties? And I believe you are the COO of Hype Magazine, if that's correct.
Yeah, so I'm the COO of Hype. Also, I'm a managing partner of Maverick Global Distribution. So, yes, I'm very directly involved in the music industry and the entertainment scene. So, I serve in the role at Hype Magazine, working with business development, forming strategic alliances for branding, advertisement, and other experiential events. And then with Maverick Global Distribution, we've created a platform that helps artists to manage their music, manage their money independently so that they don't have to rely on labels. We know that labels aren't really offering artists deals. And so what we try to do is educate the artists, the independent artists and major artists on how to take control of their music and their money and control their own careers.
Could you kind of, I guess, let people know a little bit of the entertainers, whether they are directly entertainers or just people behind the scenes like yourself that you have been involved with or you have collaborated with? Because when people hear Atlanta, you hear so many entertainers at so many different levels, from the music level, from the film and television level, from the sports level, if you want to throw that into the entertainment industry to some degree. So, could you kind of let people know some of the people that you have interacted with, collaborated with, or have done business with?
Sure. So I've been in music over 25 years. I started out as an artist back when I was probably about 13, 14 years old or younger, recording professionally, I think at about age 9. So I've had the privilege and pleasure to work with a number of different entertainers, both independent and major celebrities that people may or may not know. I've worked at some capacity with Future, Young Dro, Pleasure P, gosh, Pastor Troy. I just this weekend I've attended several events where Janet Jackson was performing, also Tim's. And so it's just, being in the room, being at the table for some of these discussions, planning some of these events, covering some of these events from the media perspective. I play a number of different roles. My work from day to day is never the same. It's always changing. One day I can be working on building a smart city. The next day I can be at an event learning more about teaching about crowdfunding. That same evening, I may be at a networking event with one of the chambers here in Atlanta, and maybe I might leave from there and go to a showcase. So my day is never the same. I'm at back-to-back events. I'm in back-to-back meetings all the time, and that's what I really love about what I do, is that it's never the same. It's not a routine every day, to day to day.
Well, you hear so much about the entertainment industry, and people assume everything is about luxury, glamorous, financials, wealth. And there are many people at that level, but I'm understanding the entertainment industry could be a real cutthroat type of business. You hear in the past of some artists like TLC who sold millions of records and they ended up not really benefiting from the record sales. New Edition, when they first got started in the industry, they thought they was making a lot of money, and it ended up that they made very little money. What is the reasons behind sometimes in the beginning stages of the entertainment industry that you don't see the revenue, even though you may sell millions of records and you may be touring throughout the country? Is it something that the artists may not be doing correctly or they may not be aware of when they're getting into this industry? So could you kind of elaborate a little bit behind the scenes on why sometimes the entertainers do not always generate the revenue from the beginning stages?
Absolutely. It all boils down to education. When a lot of artists get into the music business, they only know about the music. They don't know about the business side of things. And so I think it's very important for anyone coming into entertainment, going into any type of career, to know and educate themselves about the pros, the cons, the ins, the outs, and to know that business in and out, so that they know how to negotiate for fair deals and how to make sure that they are getting a beneficial relationship with either the label or the distribution company or whoever they're looking to do business with.
To kind of keep this a little bit not directly with my personal experiences, but just to be honest, a few days ago, someone in the entertainment industry came to me with some type of proposal, but he wanted me to come up with a certain amount of money up front. And I guess I'm under the belief that, okay, if you can make me money or find me a way to generate money, why can't you just take that money out of the profit margins that I'm generating under? I say that to say, as an example, do you have to always put money up front, or is there a way in the business that you could get someone to subtract the money that you generate from, just to kind of give you like an idea if I'm saying it correctly?
Well, I mean, you're saying it correctly, but at the end of the day, no two situations are the same. That's something that the terms and conditions are always going to be negotiable, depending on who you're speaking with, how much faith and belief they have in you and your talents and gifts. And there's so many different variables, I think, to consider when we're looking at that model. Because there are going to be times when, yes, somebody can, benefit you. They can provide these services that can provide you with a revenue stream. However, it's the work that they're putting into it that they're looking to get paid for, because no one wants to work for free.
Right. Now, should you always sign a contract whenever you're going to do business in the entertainment industry?
You should always at least have a memorandum of understanding, which is not a binding agreement, but it kind of lays out the terms and conditions on which you believe you all are going to be conducting business. You want to have something in writing, something that's in black and white, so that there's less complexity when it comes to solving issues that may present themselves as you begin to, go down that road. So it's always good to have something in writing, something that in an email or something that you can refer back to. You said that you were going to do this, and I said I was going to do this. However, you breached that agreement and you did not provide the service or the products that you agreed to. And in that way, if you were to have to go into a courtroom or use a mediator, you could use those documents or whatever documentation you have in order to, provide proof of evidence.
In the industry, from people on the outside throughout the country, they look at Atlanta now as the gold standard in the entertainment industry, particularly for black artists. I mean, you still have New York and you still have Los Angeles and a couple other places, maybe like Miami and Nashville. But over the past, you mentioned you've been in the industry about 25 years. It seemed like Atlanta has just skyrocketed in the music, film, and television entertainment industry. What is making Atlanta so impressive and stands out towards this amount of success? Business companies, film studios, television studios, recording studios. How has Atlanta put itself in a position to be at this level where it currently exists at?
Wow, as you were speaking, it occurred to me. One is that Atlanta is home to a number of HBCUs. So we had a number of very highly educated and talented individuals here that were like us, Black entrepreneurs that kind of started paving and laying the foundation and starting businesses here to where when I was, I think, about 16, 17 years old and visited as a senior, it was a culture shock to see so many Black entrepreneurs, doing so well and thriving here in Atlanta. And I told myself, oh, I'm going to move here one day just off of that alone. And then to add in the historical stories that come out of Atlanta, the home of Dr. Martin Luther King, and the impact and the that the goodness the protests and different movements that came out of this city. And then to add on, I think when who was it, LA Reid and who Babyface put their label here, that started to get people's attention. And then I think the last part, and I just learned this about maybe a few days ago, is just how critical Dallas Austin, how critical of a role he played in having I'm going to probably mess it up, but it's basically tax credit, the
Yeah.
Georgia tax credit incentive. Come to find out, he played a major role in helping to get that act. I think it's like the Georgia Film Investment Act or something like that. But he helped to get that passed, and that has created billions and generated billions and billions of dollars for the state of Georgia. So I think that, all those things together have led to Atlanta being the mecca of Black entertainment.
Okay, and just on my brief experience networking with the Atlanta Black Chamber of Commerce, who was kind of instrumental in introducing you to me, it seems like to me this, exactly, Melvin Coleman is tremendous. It seems like to me that is also playing a role too, your networking sources that you have down in Atlanta. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, and I'm coming from the outside on perspective, it's so easy, but it seems like to me, once you get in that circle, you get in that connections, it's almost like the ball is in your court now. You can kind of decide which direction you want to go. Is the Atlanta Black Chamber of Commerce also another vital role in putting some things together in the entertainment industry?
Now, when it comes to Atlanta Black Chambers, the entertainment, I'll be honest and say I don't know a lot as far as the relationship. I haven't seen a lot of engagement with the entertainment and Atlanta Black Chambers, other than, I think about a week ago we attended the Music Woman magazine launch. I'm new to Atlanta Black Chambers, so it just may be something that I have not experienced yet. But what I have found is that the Atlanta Black Chambers is a very valuable network to be a member of. And any entrepreneur that's in the metro Atlanta area that's not a member, it's like, what are you doing? And why did it take me so long to get to this point? Because those are the resources, the relationships, and things that we need in order to take our businesses to the next level and to also access education and, capital and things that we need also.
Okay. And well, I'm just saying, on my perspective, just contacting the CEO or the executive or director, Melvin Coleman. I mean, if he doesn't know exactly somebody in the industry, he can point me to someone like he pointed me to you. So I just think the networking within itself, whether they are directly involved in the entertainment industry, but you have so many connections that you can turn to, it seems like to me that is very impressive. To go along with your position at Hype Magazine, exactly what do you do at that magazine again?
Well, I am new to the team. The CEO, Just Jay, actually it's Dr. Jamila Wilkerson, but we call her Just Jay. It's my sister. Um, she's run the Hype magazine for over 21 years, growing it to be the number one urban culture magazine in the world. And now I've come on board, and my role is really to form more strategic partnerships with different brands and corporations, develop opportunities that will spotlight those brands for in front of our audiences, which we have many niche communities: gamers, techies, foodies, those in arts and entertainment and film and television and music. So we're very diverse in the content that our magazine pushes. But like I said, my role is really about forming those relationships with the brands and the corporations and helping them to create experiential opportunities where they can connect with our audience.
Okay. I don't know if this is a fair question or not, but in the entertainment industry, would a six-figure salary be considered a good salary? I'm just being hypothetical on that level to you.
Yes, I think anytime you can make over five figures in the music industry, you're doing pretty good because most, especially those on the independent side, are not making those numbers. With the new crave of influencers and being able to make so many different pots of money now across the web and the internet, and with the NFTs, and I mean they're coming up with everything. Now it's time for artists to look at, how to just go, not how to go from not just making music, but how to turn their music into money generators through not just single releases, whether that be syncing to film, whether that be used for commercials, whether you're creating music for brands or corporations, whether you're selling them as NFTs, just creating other streams of income, merchandise, doing film and movies. So I think it's very important for artists nowadays to be more versatile.
Exactly, exactly. When you hear people like Tyler Perry, Will Packer, the impact that they have in the film industry, the television industry, I'm not going to say that they're not talented. They definitely stand out with tremendous talent. But does it also help the fact that they have their operations and businesses located in Atlanta or the metro Atlanta area? Let's say comparable to if they was to try to put their operation in Birmingham, Alabama. Does that brand that Atlanta has also helps you to go along with your talent level?
Hmm. Gosh, that's a really good question. I would say it's definitely helpful. I can't see a company in Birmingham really attracting as many people possibly here in Atlanta just because there's more people here. This is an international destination. People are traveling here for vacation. They're coming here for opportunities. So this is like the place to be. I think we were ranked as one of the number one cities in the United States.
Mhm. Exactly. How has the Nigerian film industry, if I'm not mistaken, they are in the top two or three. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you can kind of clarify that. But it seems like when you talk about film and television, and I would assume music, if people are not aware, it is huge in Nigeria. How has Nigeria been able to capitalize on this entertainment industry?
Oh gosh, Nollywood is what, one of the top three, I think one of the top three markets in the world, and has seen tremendous growth, especially with the Afro beats. I just had an opportunity to meet the president of the Nigerian Music Association a few weeks ago here in Atlanta, at a film festival, and we had a discussion just about the growth of the Afro beats genre. based off of people just wanting to enjoy music, have fun with the music. Some of our music now has become so destructive to our community, it's hard to listen to. So I think Afro beats is more of an outlet when you want to have fun, you just want to dance, you want to be filled with joy and happiness.
Uh-huh.
So it's we're seeing extreme growth in Nigeria when it comes to not just the music, but also the film, which, like I said, they're one of the largest film markets in the world, and also in tech as well. There's some very talented entrepreneurs and individuals there in Nigeria and across the continent. They're developing some really amazing products and services to solve a lot of the issues that our society is experiencing now. So like one young guy, and I'm not sure if he's here in the US or if he's on the continent, but he is a young African brother, and he developed a skin soap that helps to prevent or fight skin cancer. So it's like a skin cancer soap. And I mean, it's ingenuous. It's like, wow.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Well, you know, when some people who are not aware of Nigeria and the role that they are playing in the content level, I mean, it seems like it's different levels of comedy, music, drama. It's not just a one-dimensional form when you look at the Nigerian market in the entertainment industry. And another thing I want to just throw at you, Tyler Perry and Spike Lee has kind of been somewhat of the pioneers, particularly for the black film industry over the past 20 to 25, 30 years. You know, excellent films on different levels, a different type of style. But one time Spike Lee mentioned about he felt, and I hate to put a little dirt out there, but I just throw it the best way I can. He wasn't really completely satisfied with some of the images and roles that Tyler Perry has portrayed. And I think Tyler Perry had came back and responded to Spike Lee. Is his upbringing comparable from the South? Louisiana has been different than Spike Lee's type of upbringing in New York. And it's not to say that one way is better than the others, but Spike Lee's films have done serious topics of Do the Right Thing, um, Malcolm X, and Spike Lee has put some solid films out there. But do you think the role, maybe sometime that the artists' upbringings play a role in what they're going to portray? If you only know one way or you only know one style of operating under, sometimes that's what you display, whether it's through your music or through your film or through your television. So, do you think there's probably some disagreement sometime in the industry that people may look at some images that, and I don't want to single Tyler Perry, I just want to use him as an example. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't been exposed to certain elements or certain principles and morals, then you don't know how to exhibit them.
Okay.
Just at the end of the day, when you look at the things that, some of these artists are doing for attention or, for likes and for money,
Right.
you got to say, well, where are their morals at? Where are their principles at? And then that's when you have to dig a little deeper and dive into their upbringing and their childhood and the traumatic effects that they've, adverse effects that they've had from those things. So, I mean, there's no one answer.
And I think another thing is the distribution. I mean, you can make a product, but you have to get it distributed through the media. And I think sometimes people don't even realize how difficult or a challenge that can be. You know, you say, okay, you made this film, you made this record, but the next step is to get it distributed. And what is the process now of getting your product through the distribution?
Well, that's something that I still am challenged with. I actually met a distributor a couple weeks ago that I'm meeting with now because I have an animation film that I'm working on. But distribution is really tricky because they're the gatekeepers.
Mhm.
They're the ones who take your products to the larger companies, and based off of those companies' agendas, depends on what's going to get released to when, where, and what markets. So there's a lot more behind the scenes that, the average person doesn't have control over. It depends on what are the agendas right now also. So when we look at distribution, one is that when you're going to get financing, a lot of times they're going to ask, well, do you have distribution in place? If you have distribution in place, then you have a larger chance of getting your product funded or getting the support that you need behind your content. If you do not have distribution in place, then that's when you have to get out here, create a pitch. You want to have that anyway, but you want to pitch, you got to get people interested in your product. You want to have maybe a sizzler or a trailer to say, this is what the final product is going to look like. Or you just want to go ahead and create the full product and then try to sell or pitch it when it's done. And that's what a lot of people are doing now because these larger corporations are not doing the deals that they used to do, and they would give you the money in advance to create the content because so many content creators, it's a saturated market now. So now they're looking at who is coming with finished and complete products that we can put out there, and then they'll buy or license those products.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another thing. With the content now, do you have to have a solid content that is good or just a solid content that people want? Because you could have content out there that's not really good, no substance, but it's what people want to see, what people want to listen to. You could also have both. I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes to be so talented when you can have both. But what's kind of stands out now? Is it really the substance of the content or just what people want to see and listen to?
It's what, excuse me, it's what people want.
Okay.
You're going to give people what they want. There's so many different communities or niche communities now. So it's just based off of your target audience, the people that are following you, that you're engaging with. What is it they want to see? What is it that has drawn them to you, to your brand, and then continuing to give them that.
Hmm. What about also you used to have, and I guess you still have so many daytime talk shows, and I believe Oprah Winfrey is the queen of the daytime, and not just the daytime talk industry or the daytime talk shows, but just her background in business levels. Is this an easy field to also get into when you see so many different reality shows and talk shows? Is that still a challenge if you wanted to get yourself on a talk show and have a daily show?
That's out of my wheelhouse. I'm not exactly sure about that. I'm not at all tied to talk shows. I have no knowledge about the talk shows, so that's something I couldn't speak intelligently about.
Okay, I understand that part. Again, now, what are some of your current operation plans that you're working on, and what are some things that you would like to see take place over the next couple of years?
Gosh, working on that's a lot. So we're working on a number of things. Actually, one of the things we're working on is Hype Fest. We were aiming at 2024, but because we have something that we're going to do with our festival that has not been done with any other festival here in the Atlanta area, we're going to put it off to 2025. So we're preparing for Hype Fest 2025. Also organizing for Fund ATL, which stands for Financial Unity for New Developments. We had an event like that back in September that was very successful. So we're going to do it again here in January. And what we're doing with that event is educating entrepreneurs, empowering them with the connections and resources they need in order to access capital and investment. So that's a huge event sponsored by my nonprofit, the Center for Truth and Healing, and also in conjunction and partnership with A World Entertainment. Additionally, I am working on the first phase of building a smart city in East Africa at the tip of Kenya, Ethiopia, and Uganda. And additionally, in order to help fund some of these developments, I am preparing to launch a rewards crowdfunding campaign that will reward our supporters with something that no one has done so far at this level. And I can't tell it just yet because we're just about, I think, about 30 days out from launching. And we do have some very large competitors So I want to keep that untapped, but I hope that you'll have me back because it's going to be huge. And we want our community to have the first round, the first go at it. We really want to make this more exclusive, even though we can't say, oh, it's only for us. So we want to make sure that we're getting the word out to our community so that we can be prepared and ready to jump on this opportunity as soon as it is released.
And again, you mentioned this is going to take place in East Africa.
Well, the smart city is taking place in East Africa. However, this crowdfunding opportunity is going to take place and be launched from here in the United States.
Oh, okay. So we can definitely stay abreast. And I have no problem bringing you back on to discuss your project and this current project that you're working towards. And hopefully everything will work out according to your plans that you would like to see. And again, you, okay, you're welcome. Now, again, some other areas of Africa. What about Ghana? Do you have any type of interaction with Ghana, or is it just Nigeria and a few other places? I mean, where does Ghana
Well,
stand?
I have an interaction, but I'm not there. One of my queen sisters, she is actually one of the queen mothers of the Fulani tribe in Ghana. My role with the Atakar, um, I represent over 750 different African kingdoms, and they're mostly in East Africa. However, since I've come on board, I've started bringing in other kingdoms. So, like today, I think no, not today, Wednesday. We're moving forward and looking to connect with the Loango Kingdom. Recently, I brought on the tribe of Shabazz into the Attica Kingdom. And what we're doing is just growing our capacity. All of our members are culturally and um, mineral or resource rich. So we are aligning ourselves for these opportunities that we're going to be announcing in the next 30 or 45 days.
Right. Well, it sounds like to me, you're moving in a solid directionary path. You seem like you're coming from the heart and you have your business mindset in order. Because sometimes, you're welcome, because sometimes it's hard to really judge somebody on just one level. I mean, and then you hear people talk about the entertainment industry, and it's always at some point, okay, it's the next dollar, it's the next business deal, and it's just all about the profit margin. And then sometimes you have to wonder, is there any other compassionate side towards the entertainment business industry? Now, I mentioned earlier, it could seem like it's a cutthroat, ruthless business. It is. Okay. But even within the cutthroat, ruthless business industry, you can still do a lot of good within it. And I think sometimes people don't always follow that message that, okay, it's not, you can kind of take this industry and make the best of it to do other things that you might feel like you want to do, even outside of the industry. The entertainment may be your bread and butter, and that's how you make your living, but it doesn't mean that that's the only field you have to operate under if you want to do some things that may not be in coexistence with the entertainment industry. But again, you have many different titles, as you mentioned. We're kind of, believe it or not, running down on time for this particular segment. Is there anything about yourself that you might have not let people know in this segment, or anything that you're working on again that you might want to let people know towards we're running to the bottom of this segment?
Well, I did mention that I wear a lot of hats, but one of the main hats that I wear that I am really proud of is being a mother and a grandmother. So I have four adult children, three biological, one from my previous marriage, and I have two brand babies. And I just enjoy being a grandmother, being a mom, and being able to do the things that I'm doing to give back to society and to create a better world for us. And like you said, when people are coming you know, into themselves and learning the industry and, trying to find their way, have a great support system, to have some balance and to find things that you enjoy to do, and then kind of intermingle them all. And that's what I've been doing. The things that I do, I love to do them, and that's what wakes me up every morning and keeps me going and motivated.
And again, your business is operated out of Atlanta, or you want to, I mean, whatever information you want to let people know about your business, if they wanted to reach you, if you feel that's appropriate, feel free to do so.
Okay, great. So thank you for the opportunity again, Jonathan. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure to be here. For those of you who would like to learn more about me or connect with me, you can follow me on social media. I'm on most platforms, um, mainly LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, but I am on all platforms. You can connect with me there. Also, if you are a business and you are thinking of doing crowdfunding, or if you are an entrepreneur and you would like to discuss ways that you can build the capacity to access capital for your business, then you can schedule a free consultation with me at Build Your Brand Now. That's all one word, buildyourbrandnow.setmore, as in set more appointments. So it's buildyourbrandnow.setmore.com. Of course, you can read our latest edition of the Hype Magazine at thehypemagazine.com. And just, connect with us if you want to do music, whatever you're doing, we have something for you. So if you're doing music, we can distribute your music on Maverick Global Distribution. If you're an artist and you're trying to reach the target audience, you want to advertise, we can put you in Hype. We've created a system that we can help, kind of empower individuals depending on what it is that their interests are. We can kind of put them in our system and then help to catapult them by putting them with different resources.
All right, those words are going to be well taken, and I had really enjoyed my conversation with you this morning. I look forward to possibly bringing you back on in the near future to talk about some of the projects and the future projects that you are working on. And again, we'll definitely keep an eye on some of the things that you had discussed during this particular segment. And again, for people out there on this edition of Face to Face, it was my pleasure also to host and produce this particular segment. And the guest this morning, tremendous background, tremendous knowledge, Royal Ambassador at Large Entrepreneur, Her Excellency Shanta Lana Hereford. Thank you.